Hello, this is JMats, and I'm just waiting for a block sealed event to start up. This is the first block sealed event I played. We played a pre-release for Wine Sealed and Delivered that you all, well, some of you probably watched, but this one will actually include packs from Besieged, Scars, as well as new Phyrexia. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how the block all comes together. And here in less than a minute, we're going to start deck building. While there are no official drinking rules, such as draft beer and wine sealed and delivered, I am drinking George Killian's Irish Red this evening. And it's a favorite of my father's, actually. Not that he would be watching this, but that's kind of why I picked it up, and I'm enjoying it. I am playing alone, which is a little bit different and may lead to a little bit less entertainment than you are sometimes typically used to. Here's the pool. First thing I always want to do is go to piles by rarity. I see the Ink Mouth there. Switching over, things that really stand out to me: Precursor Golem, which could be especially good given that we have new Phyrexia and some bonuses that could be given to golems, although that would also open those golems up to mass removal. Carnifex Demon is a bomb and definitely something to consider. Norn's Annex can be very good as well, so that would be something to consider. Xenogra, no. Mirror Works, it really takes the right deck for that to work, and I'm not sure we will have it, but let's flip back to do piles by color. And one of the first things I like to do is first of all just look at initial depth, just total card count, but I also like to look at playables. And so, for example, going through this pile, Dispatch is possibly playable, Sunspear, Shikari. We do have one lost Leonin and 2 Time Strikes, but that's probably not going to pull me into a white Infect deck. Divine Offering is very good, so that would be possibly even a splash if I'm low on removal, artifact removal. The Sensor Splicers are not the best of the splicers. In blue, the thing that I saw is I have 2 Vidalcan Anatomists, and that right there tells me I'm gonna play blue. I also happen to have 2 Infusers, and I don't know if we have any artifacts that can properly abuse that fact. Even a Shriekhorn can be pretty mean if you have ways to put on that many counters. Let's see. No, we really don't have any way to abuse those. Volition Reigns, also very good. Spinethopter, definitely would play that. If it was a blue heavy deck, Invisimancer is definitely playable. But it doesn't look like I have a lot of depth there, so it may be more of a splash situation for those Anatomists. In black, Despise can be pretty good. Guess Verdict, excellent. I didn't think it would be as good as it is, but a lot of time in the games that I've played, they only have 1 creature out, and so it's just a targeted removal. Grasp of Darkness, Grim Affliction, Morbid Plunder, Mortis Dogs I've had good success with, Parasitic Implant. So we have a lot of removal there, not to mention the fact that we have the Carnifex Demon that we want to play for. Reaper is kind of a interesting tweener card. In red, double turn to slag, we have a barrage ogre, scrap melter, volt charge, so some really solid removal in those two colors. And in green we have a few beats, but then on the low end not a whole lot, a couple 2/2s. Over in artifacts, the high end isn't all that bad. Necropouncer I'm a little bit torn on. Obviously very expensive to cast, but once he's out there, I love being able to equip and swing. Precursor Golem, definitely. Snap Sail Glider if we have enough artifacts. Blinding Soul Eater, maybe even put in just A-planes for a possibility. Mirror Sire. Liquid Metal Coating if we have any metalcraft that we want to go for, or if we just want to be able to use our scrap melter to kill whatever. Life Staff, Signal Pest, Gremlin Mine for a little bit more removal. What I'm kind of seeing is that I think I'm going to be a little bit light on creatures. I don't seem to have a whole lot of depth on creatures, but I have more depth than I thought I would get on removal. So having gone through that, I know I want to play the 2 Anatomists, and because of that I probably might as well play the Thopter, bring that in, and I can consider a few of these other things. Probably not going to go deep enough to play the Volition Reins. In here, the Verdict, the Affliction, the Grasp, probably the Morbid Plunder, just because I'm not going to have that many creatures. I know he's Infect, but he also is just a really big body. Here, I went with both turn to slags, that Ogre, the Scrap Melter, Volt Charge, maybe the Goblin Cavalier. Precursor, let's try Necropouncer. I can see how the curve comes out here in a minute. Soul Eater. Here I almost need to go with the equipment if I'm going to use the Cavalier to make him a little bit more powerful. I have 3 pieces of equipment, so Training Drone actually is a possibility. Probably not one I want to go with. Gremlin Mine, there's more removal. It's a possibility. That puts me at 12 creatures. Although Necropouncer comes in as a creature, so that's like 13, and Morbid Plunder is a slow way of getting a creature, or a couple creatures. So it's not as bad as one would think. And I can put in the Inkmouth as well. The Gremlin Mine, kind of torn on that, because I don't know what I would lose to what I would take out to put it in. Perhaps Signal Pest. Actually, Signal Pest doesn't seem to do a whole lot for the creatures I am playing, so I probably would be better with a little bit additional removal. And then I'm going to go to the Add Land and see what they suggest. And obviously high on black, red, and then blue. I may take a chance on the black being a little bit heavier later. Same with the red. And I definitely want to get out the Anatomists if I can. So I'm going to go with a 4/6/6. That may mean that I have a Verdict that I can't cast, or a Grasp that I can't cast, and we'll have to see how it goes. Okay, that is probably the build that I am going to go with. Taking a quick glance over again, I have a couple. Well, I only have two. Oh, I have the quarter shield, that's right. I was going to say, do I only have two pieces of equipment? Because Cavalier may not be the correct play if I only have two. Nathosaur, don't love him. Tangle Hulk, not playing green. I could Mirror Sire in replace of the Cavalier, and that would, you know, potentially buy time. Yeah, probably so. My early game is really not aggro. It's a control game and a removal game, and then hopefully, you know, one of my bruisers for the win. And I'd even include Mortis Dogs as a bruiser in this deck, which is not all that saying that much. Well, I guess I'm going to submit. Here goes nothing. There's 9 minutes on the clock, so we'll see how long it takes everyone else to get submitted. And I'll see you for round one.